Okay, this is down by the water where I'm going to put in the little swim dock that I was telling you about. You can see where it's sort of muddy, but then it gets pretty nice. It's probably about 5 or 6 feet deep out in the center. Just spin around. And there's my place off in the distance. All of it from where I'm standing to the house and a little beyond is all of my land. And all that's mine too. This is the little path that I cut that goes along the road down towards where the stream is. There's a house in the background. You can see all the little trees that I planted. And I also planted, you can just see it there, 4 or 5 blackberry plants. So hopefully in a couple of years those will start to produce. And that goes down to the water. And then there's the other little path that leads along to where I just was. And there's the front yard starting to look a little bit more like a yard. Just over to there, and then down the road there's my mailbox that I just put in. Not too much has happened to the outside of the house. The windows are all framed in from the outside, which is a huge improvement. You guys started to paint a little bit of that. And here's the backyard. Again, it's pretty rough shape, but at least it's a little bit starting to come together. A few more trees planted. That's where I'm going to put my little shed. And I've only actually cleared about maybe a third of the space. The rest of it's all bush, but it's pretty dense. And there's the back of the house. This is where a lot of the work has gone into this summer. That's the pump that pulls the water from the stream, obviously, and then that little box is the hot water heater, and then I built that little shelter to cover it all in. But with those two things I have hot running water, which is nice, and then the line just runs down there off into the distance. And you can't really see anything from beyond there, but 250 feet from there is the stream. Down there is the drain that I built last summer, but I'm just in the process of completely redoing that, so that'll be the new sort of septic system for the drains, not the toilet but the sinks and all that kind of stuff. And I also painted the back side of this house and replaced all the clapboard because it was in really bad shape. I don't think I'm going to paint any more this summer, but that needed to be done pretty desperately. And there it is from the distance a little bit. You can see the wire running down from the roof. That's my ham radio antenna, so I've been able to play with that this summer, which is kind of nice. You can see a little bit more of the yard and a few of the bushes. And here's the inside, slowly starting to look like a little bit of a house. That's the front door. I've got my bed there for now. I'm going to pan around. And there's the wood stove. And I built a little wood storage thing this summer, so I have somewhere to keep all the firewood. And also put the license plates behind it as a fire protector, which worked out pretty well. There's the radio. There's my my beloved stove, and all the pots and pans, and the kitchen, which has worked out really well. Let me just pull back a little bit. The whole image there. And the sink and everything works. And the stove, which has been fantastic, which also has probably the world's scariest ignition system. You just hit that button, you don't want to lean on that by mistake. There's the kitchen. And the garbage cans is an old porthole that I found in a salvage shop. Oops. Just open that, throw it in there. Works really well. The table from a Dairy Queen that was going out of business, and there's the TV, you probably remember. And then all the stereo equipment, etc. is there. And then that goes up into the attic, or it's going to be the loft eventually, and that's the bathroom. And there's the bar and all the electrical blocks, and my phone, which works. I sent it out to a guy to have it all put back together, so it's been kind of fun. And there's the bathroom. This is the only thing that's pretty much 100% complete. I'll go in. So there's the composting toilet, the sink, and the sure what you're going to be able to see, but they shower with running hot water, which is pretty exciting to say the least. Alright, so it just leads back out into there. And here's up in the attic, obviously still a work in progress. I put the insulation in about half of it and put all the battens up, but more importantly than that, the floor is down, the floor is all insulated, which makes it a lot cooler up here. Last summer it was almost unbearable. I've got the fan up there, so it's pretty nice up there. This is the big project for next summer. Is going to be to drywall all this, because eventually this will be my bedroom, and that just leads down to where we came up. Let's spin around. But then there's also a vent that drops down into the kitchen, so I can get good air circulation. And there it is from the back wall. There's going to be a window in that wall, so you'll be able to see out through into the forest. Spin around, and I rewired absolutely everything. It was a bit of a disaster, but now absolutely everything is brand new, except for a few wires down in the box. But that's not a huge deal. And that just drops down into the living room, and you can see the hatch that I built opens two ways, so just the halfway for going up and down, and then when I need to move furniture or whatever, the second bit flips up, and I've got the block and tackle there to move stuff up and down, which has been pretty useful doing stuff by myself. And there's the stream. I'm just standing on the bridge right before my place. You can see the little river that runs along. It's pretty dense, which is why I had to cut out that section that I showed you in the beginning of the video, where the swim dock's going to be. Just pan around and put it into context. And there's my house down there. Not much else around.